This message is for Miss Wendy Day. I respect your opinion, ma'am, because that's your opinion, and I can't tell you how to feel. But I ask that you also respect my facts and why I believe that he's guilty. Watch this video and tell me you still come to that same conclusion at the end of this video of him killing my 16-year-old brother. Have a nice day, Miss Wendy Day.
I mean, you pull a big fish, you bring on a trial, you're going to make the news, you can upgrade your career, simple as that.
That doesn't resonate very well with me, Corey. I mean, I got to be honest with you.
I know that don't have to resonate. You're probably not going to believe my story, but my story is my story.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. There were a couple of witnesses who identified you as the shooter. So what about those witnesses?
They were just making stuff up, 15 minutes of fame. That night of the shoot, nobody mentioned my name at all.
Right.
All these people know me, they know my face.
Right.
Know who I am. If that would have been me, I shot this dude. They'd have told them people as soon as they walked in the door that I did.
Do you know who shot the guy?
No, we don't know who shot the guy.
Okay. So what about the Juan Flowers?
Let me tell you something about me. You ain't gonna never hear nothing come out my mouth pointing the finger at nobody else. Not even save my own soul. That just ain't gonna happen. That's just the way I live. That's the way I come up.
Wow. But you got to understand this, Corey. Every day that you sit in prison and you're there innocently, and your daughters think you're there innocently, they are serving time with you every single day. They are right alongside of you. You understand that?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times your daughter smiled every time we mentioned your name. She loves you beyond measure. If you had any part to do with this, you don't have to tell me, honestly. You don't.
Yeah.
But tell your daughters. They are still gonna love you no matter what.
I'm gonna start from the beginning, man. You hear me? I whipped up on that Silk the Shocker. I whipped up listening to Silk the Shocker. You hear me? It ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. I'm on that big dog. You hear me? So look, rags, normal nightclub night. Ain't nobody knowing. Poor gangster see murder Miller go be in that bit tonight, or trying to get in that bit tonight. Yeah, man, nobody knowing that. So look, basically a regular night, that bitch jumping, see the jumping, you hear me? I told you see murder them with thugging in, like them boys with thugging, they'll be anywhere. I saw him, Soldier Slim, and Mac at the DMV prior to this situation, you hear me? So look, now mind you, man, the man out on bond at this time, I think. You hear me? So look, we whip up to this bitch, listen to Silk the Shocker, ironically, so we are, me and my little partners, we going that bitch. We about 4 deep. This when we're selling drugs, trapping, and we'll run to the club because it's close to the hood. So we'll shoot here, come have a drink, and shoot back to the hood. I ain't really missing nothing. You know what I'm saying? A cell call, nigga can shoot right back to the hood and catch him like, So this was our little spot that we'll go to. You hear me? So look, we came here, eased off in this bitch. So look, we in that bitch, cutting up. Pussy real, nigga, you don't wanna go to war, shit like that, you hear me? With a real nigga, that was them days. So look, some kind of way, man, I ran back to the car because ain't no smoking in there. Mr. Norman ain't never had no smoking in there. So ain't no smoking, so I run to the car. You hear me? To come roll the weed, like hit the weed and shit. On some junkie shit. You hear me? Man, I'm gonna hit the car, I'm gonna hit the weed. So look, I'm outside in the car. All this pack, all Plank Road pack, all of the neighborhood pack, The car was like way over there somewhere, you hear me? So look, like down there, quarter mile. So I went and hit the weed. So look, I coming back, walking up to the door, I see not only a lot of people like bunched up, cause the door been open, it ain't like the line long or nothing like that. I just left the line, it was flowing smooth, everything was smooth. So when I'm coming back, I see like a bunch of people, not only a bunch of people, I noticed tall people. Like damn, like I'm thinking basketball players. Real shit. Remember the moment like yesterday. So look, so I'm walking up. I'm looking, I hear the commotion, but I'm still walking to it. That's how crazy nigga was. Nigga see them people arguing or whatever, the commotion. I'm walking up to it, So see murder. You saw the foot, whatever the footage, when he slanging that bitch like this here, you saw look the footage up, ain't no right. Yeah. So when they made him do that, yeah. I'm like this here, he coming out that bitch running, slanging that bitch and running out that bitch like this here. I'm right on side, I'm outside. If you look at that bitch, if you get the footage from Mr. Norman, you will see me by the car ducking it. You heard me running, yeah. So look, I was here that night, man. See, murder could have killed me, man, that night. Yeah, see, murder could have killed me that night, man. You know what I'm saying? They made him do it or whatever, but...
Yeah, keep that there, you heard me.
You know what I'm saying? The 4-4. We got choppers inside the ship, but we can't bring them out because all the kids in this early law shit, you know what I'm saying? But this side go down right here, we represent for my nigga Joe.
CP3, body, you know, this is real, man.
That mean protection, that mean retaliation, that mean you gotta live by the gun, you dead, you gotta die by the gun, you heard me?
Like I'm real with it, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got all that jewelry, but I got buku ammo, you heard me? Buku ammo.
Corey Miller, C. Murder, was born on March 9, 1971, in New Orleans, Louisiana. He grew up in the Calliope projects. He initially gained fame in mid-1990s as a part of his brother's masterpiece label, No Limit Records. Miller was one of the members of True, aka the Real Untouchables group, which originally consisted of him and 2 other rappers. Both of them were his brothers, Master P and Silk the Shocker. Miller released several solo albums of his own through the label. In 1998, he released his album, Life or Death. It went multi-platinum, and looking back right now, the title of the album is quite ironic. The album peaked at number 3 on the US Billboard 200s. In 1999, he released his album, Bossellini. The album also did really great, selling over 175,000 records its first week. It eventually was certified gold. It had a lot of great guest appearances like Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Corrupt, and Daz Dillinger. Year after that, he released his 3rd album, Trapped in Crime, in 2000. I'll talk about this album later on, but this album is pretty wild to me, everything from its name to its album cover. The album also had a lot of great special guests, like Fat Joe, Snoop Dogg, his brother Silk, and lots more. The album went number 9 on Billboard 200s. It became his 3rd straight album to land in the top 10 on the Billboard 200 chart. Probably one of his most known songs to this day was from this album. Its hook went on to be used years later by the one and only Kanye West.
Them other niggas cause I'm down with my niggas.
In 2001, he released his last album with No Limit Records, and also while being a free man. The album was called CP3.com.
This the Calliope project right here, you heard me? This CP3, all that shit y'all be hearing about on them songs.
After the release of his 3rd and 4th project, C. Murder was at the top of the game. Money, cars, houses, you name it. He was living the dream, but all of his dream life that he built for himself will soon come crashing down. See, when you rise to the top and have a possibility to finally leave the situation you come from, you leave. All of the life that you lived before, especially coming from the streets, has to be left behind. Even though he had the right guidance by his brothers, who went on to have successful careers, C couldn't separate himself from the hood. As mentioned before, C grew up in the Calliope projects. The project was built between 1939 and 1941. The early days of Calliope consisted of people who were from working class families, who lived comfortably and were saving up funds to purchase their own homes. Unfortunately, since the early 1980s, rival drug dealing street gangs have operated in and around the Calliope area. The violence escalated in the late 80s and peaked in early 1990s. From 1994 to 2004, 88 people were killed in the Calliope projects. Throughout the early and mid-90s, it got so bad to the point where Calliope projects got a nickname, Murder Capital of the United States. It had the highest per capita homicide rate.
And I'm saying murder has to see. I'm gonna be a young killer with a lot of sense. When I do my average, you better behave before I shoot you in your head. Cut your shit up, put it clean in a microwave.
But even at this point, Corey would still consider this his home, no matter how bad it got.
One of the benefits of living in a project is then hurricane time, you ain't got a trip because them bricks ain't going nowhere, you heard? You ain't got a trip.
He didn't want to leave his past friends behind. He said he would have felt like a traitor, turning his back on his day ones. He was a real dude, but all of this realness will be the main thing that lead to his downfall in the end.
You down, you down. You my nigga, you my nigga. If you ain't, you ain't. That's just how the fuck it is. See what I'm saying? Ain't no bullshit or nothing. So y'all gonna just see. look in the nigga eye and see what a nigga about, you heard me?
In an interview, his brother Master P mentioned that at the peak of his career, even while having mansions at suburbs, cars worth millions of dollars, C would still go back to the hood just to chill and do whatever. He even bought himself and his friends an apartment there just to chill.
Being in the hood more than I be anyway, you know, still trying to do what I gotta do. So why not have my own spot there still, you heard me? It's 2-bedroom, 2 stories, 3rd floor Calliope style.
He loved the hood, and the hood loved him. He was acting and doing all the things he did before becoming platinum album selling millionaire hip-hop superstar. Being in this environment ultimately led him to get into more and more trouble.
I'm just like them, see what I'm saying? Ain't no motherfucker coming back, nigga ain't never left. Shit be with you. Take a nigga out the hood, you can't take the hood out the nigga. See what I'm saying?
She murdered a real person because he hang with my people in the cut.
You see, one love, you know what I'm saying? True soldier to the game.
Cause you know, see murder, you know he do everything, it be like love. You know, he don't forget about us. Party with us, do everything with us. He don't forget. Smoke with us, chill, drink, we do, you know, we do everything. It's like he one of us, he a part of us, you hear me? He true for real. Tell you to the gang, you hear me?
Corey Miller, known to many of you as C Murder, has spent more than a decade in prison.
In late 2001, C Murder was starting to get into some serious trouble, facing aggravated burglary and aggravated assault with a firearm charges. And even though these type of charges are not the ones to mess with, C couldn't even imagine what was coming for him very soon. His real, or quote-unquote really serious problems with the law started on August 15, 2001. C and his crew went to a club called Club Rags in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shortly after arriving there, a security guard asked to search him. C refused to be searched. Following his refusal, owner came to the front of the club and told C Murder that he can't let him inside with a gun. Miller then, allegedly, tried to shoot the owner of the club as well as a bouncer. The incident was even caught on tape. After firing one shot, luckily his gun jammed and nobody got seriously injured or dead. He later turned himself in and was released on bond. You could say that he got lucky that time, but this luck will very soon run out. On January 12, 2002, not even 5 months later after his initial arrest, C and his crew went to Platinum nightclub in Harvey, Louisiana. On that particular night, there was a rap battle going on. 16-year-old Steve Thomas was one of the participants in the rap battle contest. As one of the bouncers recalled, Steve was a cool guy. He wanted to be a rapper. It was packed. The music was loud, which is typical for a nightclub. C Murder and his friends were hanging out in the booth, talking, drinking, and just having a good time. Thomas finished his set, and as soon as he stepped off the stage, a group of men attacked him. A fight breaks out. Security guard gets there and starts to break the fight up. We don't really know how and why Miller and his crew got into that fight, but C was there. Security guy grabs Corey from the back and asks him to chill, stop fighting. He answers, "Alright, cool big dog, cool." Just after finishing his last words, he gets back to fighting. As soon as Corey returned, single shot was fired. Crowd and all of the people in the club start to run towards exit, including C and his crew. Once everybody had cleared, Steve Thomas, 16-year-old kid who was trying to pursue his dream of becoming a rapper, was just lying there in a pool of blood. He died from a single gunshot wound to the heart. It was a tragedy that should have been avoided. One of the security guards, Darnell Jordan, was taken to the detectives bureau. According to him, they showed him 6 pictures, asking him, "Who do you know in these pictures?" Security guard recognized one of them. It was none other than Corey Miller, aka C Murder. After recognizing one of the 6 people, according to the security guard, he was asked to sign a paper. He thought nothing of it, signed, and that was it. He was released. But what Darnell didn't know is that police tricked him into signing a paper, which confirms that he saw C Murder pressing the trigger and killing the innocent child, eventually becoming one of the key witnesses in the case. If the previous time he managed to get out on bond without anybody getting killed, this time it wasn't looking good for C. And if you think that after all of this ego and anger getting the best of you in not only one situation but now 2, which even claimed an innocent child's life, you would get some sense in your mind and at least lay low. You couldn't be more wrong. 6 days after the shooting happened, on January 19, C Murder was arrested, and maybe somebody would like to take a guess where? It was at the House of Blues in New Orleans. Not the club this time, but close enough. Once again, he was causing disturbance there.
They got me at first with a guilty verdict, but you know they did it wrong.
On January 2002, Miller was charged with second-degree murder. He pled not guilty. His murder trial began in September of 2003 in Louisiana. The security guy we just talked about, Darnell Jordan, testified for the prosecution. Under oath, he claimed that Miller shot Thomas. Back in 2018, he did state that he was pressured by detectives to testify. He was scared, detained, and locked in a hotel room by the police for refusing to testify against Miller. He recanted his testimony, but none of this mattered back in 2003. After 15 days of testimony, the jury came back with a guilty verdict. The sentencing for Miller's family was devastating. Being found guilty of murder charge in Louisiana means mandatory life sentence without parole. After the first trial, Corey Miller and his team started to work towards reclaiming his freedom. He hired Jennifer Witry, private investigator. According to her, she investigated all facts, talked to all the lawyers, hundreds of witnesses, and found that there is nothing that suggests that C killed the kid. There were no evidence apart from one witness who was tricked into signing the papers.
Y'all know him in JPCC. They got me at first with a guilty verdict, but you know they did it wrong. My spirit's up, my people behind me, you heard me. Pray for me and everything will be cool.
While investigating the case, they discovered that prosecutors improperly withheld criminal background information on 3 of their witnesses. New trial was granted by the judge in 2006, following these new findings. After serving 3 years, Corey not only got one more shot to prove his innocence, but also granted him house arrest till the new trial. He was allowed by the judge to promote his new, yet-to-be-titled CD and his novel, Death Around the Corner. All the visitors, including reporters, must get a permission to see Miller from the judge. He wasted no time outside, and while awaiting retrial, he released 3 albums: The Truest Shit I Ever Said in 2005, Screaming for Vengeance in 2008, and Calliope Click in 2009. Remember when at the beginning of the video I mentioned how his Trapped in Crime 2000 album was so insane to me? Well, maybe now you understand why. Imagine being a judge, police officer, jury, or anyone for that matter in that court, and hearing the guy who is charged with the murder and trying to prove his innocence is also the same guy whose rap name is C Murder, has countless of records and albums, all of them talking about the crime, killing people, quote unquote being trapped in crime, album covers featuring him sitting in a jail cell, a whole album dedicated to his neighborhood, murder capital of the United States, and much more. Also, remember that shooting in 2001 at Baton Rouge, where Miller fired one shot at security guard and club owner, but saving himself from killing somebody when his gun jammed? Well, in 2009, on May 27, C pleaded no contest to 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder. He was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison, with credit for time already served. Back to his shooting case, Corey Miller's retrial began in August 2009. At the retrial, once again, Darnell Jordan claimed under oath that C Murder killed Steve Thomas.
When prosecutors asked Jordan, who killed Thomas, Jordan answered, C Murder.
In a BET interview, he mentioned never actually seeing a gun. Even when he moved Miller out of the fight, he raised his hands and he saw no gun. He claims that when they tricked him, police couldn't go back and just ran with the story. That's it. It was too high of a profile case for them to lose. Even though he was talking like this back in 2018, during the case he never mentioned anything like this, and even expressed fear of repercussions for his testimony. There is also information that prosecutors also charged C Murder's associates with witness tampering. I mentioned all of the stuff about him calling himself C Murder, songs, albums, covers, not without any reason. You see, all of these were used against him in court. Nowadays we see rappers' song lyrics being used against them in court, but this wasn't any different back in 2009. Lyrics like these were quoted in the courtroom.
I think that's ridiculous. I think that's like me, that's like Robert De Niro getting a ticket and me, reading a line from Goodfellas. It makes no sense.
But people, they ask a question like, well, do you feel like rappers have a responsibility, with their lyrics? No. Their only responsibility is to make it as hot as you think it could be.
On August 11, 2009, the jury found Corey Miller guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to mandatory life imprisonment. What is interesting about this case is that he was found guilty of murder, intent to vote. It was not unanimous. Louisiana was the only state where you can convict someone to life in prison with non-unanimous jurists. Even though in 2018 it was decided to end non-unanimous juries in Louisiana, the change was not retroactive. In 2019, Corey Miller's legal team filed for a motion demanding a new trial, since key witnesses like Darnell Jordan and one other came out and said that they were being pressured into testifying against Miller by the authorities. Judge ruled a new trial cannot be granted. Miller to this day maintains his innocence, and he, his brothers, and his nephew have all called for a new trial numerous times, but he's still incarcerated to this day. From coming up in the projects, fighting every day to survive, to becoming one of the biggest rappers, selling multiple thousands of records, and doing it all with your family, to getting all of it taken away. Corey Miller, on January 12, 2002, lost everything. Not only cars, money, houses, jewelry, but his family, his future. Seeing his kids grow, teaching them how to ride a bike, and most importantly, his freedom. And it was all for what? Ego? Anger? Fun? Surrounding yourself with that type of environment will lead you only to two places, either dead or in prison. Miller had all the needs to move on from his past life, from monetary point of view to his support system. His brother Master P is a perfect example, and he tried to help him a lot of times. But as he perfectly said, I love my brother, but he's his own man. He is his own boss. You have to deal with the consequences that come with you. He made this decision multiple times before the tragic event, and now he had to pay the price. I know that there is a lot of controversy about the sentencing. Police doing shady things on their end, like pressuring people to sign papers, C Murder's associates being charged with witness tampering, but regardless of all of that, what matters the most is that a 16-year-old kid lost a life that day. Parents lost a child. They won't be able to see him grow, graduate from college, or ever meet his girlfriend. During the Miller's sentencing, the victim's father said, "I'm not rejoicing, I feel bad for Miller's family, but at least they can see him. What have we got but a gravesite and a photograph?" These words coming from a parent is nothing more than heartbreaking. This story should serve as a lesson for every young man. Rest in peace, Steve Thomas.
But I'm here today to set the record straight in reference to Master P and his brother, C Murder. I've been working with C Murder probably for over 16 years, helping him to try to get his freedom. I would say that I'm more closer to C Murder than I am his brother, Master P. But however, I've been reading stuff in the media that is clearly is not true, and basically what I wanted to do today is set the record straight. I can clearly say there are many things that Master P have done for his brother, C Murder. And the reason I know is because I've been involved. When it comes to attorneys, I've been involved. When it comes to Master P coming down, when C Murder was on a hunger strike, and Master P rented a van and brought the whole family down to the prison to visit with his brother, C Murder. I know about money exchanging because I'm the guy that called the attorney and talked to him about the money. I'm the guy that put Master P on the phone with the attorney, including his brother, Silk the Shocker. So when people say things that Master P hadn't done anything for his brother, it's clearly not true. I haven't made any money on helping C Murder in 16 years. I have never asked him for any money. I am a community activist. This is what I do. I don't charge people money to help them. So I am doing this interview and I'm not paid to do this interview. But however, I felt that it would be the right thing to tell the truth about what's going on in reference to Master P and his brother, C Murder. One of the things I clearly want to say again, Master P have done a lot for his brother, including hiring an attorney for his brother, the attorney that his brother wanted. In all honesty, Master P didn't want the attorney that his brother had gotten in jail for the simple reason that he said that the attorneys that he have, that he know that can help get his brother free. But then again, Master P agreed to pay for the attorney. Not only he paid for the attorney in this case, he paid for a private investigator for his brother. So all of this other stuff that's said in the media about Master P and for whatever reason trying to get Master P to look bad in the media, I felt it was right for me to come here and just tell the truth to the public about what's going on in reference to Master P and his brother C Murder.
So this probably was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But Jesus told the disciples, go out and be truthful. And whoever can appreciate that, just dust your feet off and keep it moving. This is not about me. This is about the older people in my family that has no verse when it comes to what's going on right now. And they shouldn't be talked about the way they have been. And any of y'all have any relatives that incarcerated that you know that's ungrateful, then you probably can understand this, especially if you did everything you could do. Like my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, aunties, uncles. I know they've been, them went above and beyond to help my brother. And I'm real disappointed because I didn't even know he had a social media. But when I checked and seen like who he's following and what he was saying, you know, some of the stuff don't even look like he wrote it, but if he did, or it's his people, you know, bloggers, the devil, fake media people, they're gonna take that stuff and run, because they're all about devouring and conquering. And everything that my family worked for, our reputation, you know, just because somebody that's incarcerated say whatever, it's entertainment for the world. But this is not entertainment. This is not fun. This is hurtful. You know, I know my brother said that he put some books out and made bare minimum, and that's the way he take care of his family, which, you know, in those books is what I disagree with. He talked about my mom, my dad, the people that created him. He said that they didn't do nothing for him, which is a lie. And anybody that know me, I don't need to be pat on the back or nothing. Whatever I done for him, I done it out of love. My grandmother, she's not here right now. She's my angel. I know that, and she should be his angel. I've never heard him talk about her like that. But I know Kim Kardashian put out one tweet, and she is angel, which is crazy to me. But I appreciate it. Like I said, my brother is innocent, and I hope she can get him out. I want him to come home. I see where Monica, his ride or die. He just started talking back to her 7 months ago. And I know maybe it's prison talk, you know, I know he's incarcerated, and I get that. But still, you have to have a heart for the people that really helped you. Monica just got divorced last year. So I'm thinking like, that's your ride or die. That's cool, if that's the way you feel. But let's be real, I have family members that think my brother coming home and they're not truthful. Maybe Silk scared to tell them the truth. My sister, my aunties, uncles, everybody think that this man is coming home and he gonna get a settlement, he gonna take care of everybody. But the truth is, and I know the truth hurt, what did he do the first time he was home? Who did he help? Why do people owe him when his friends has him incarcerated? That's the real reason he's incarcerated. I changed my life and I left those same friends behind because they didn't want to do right. They wasn't on the same page I was on. So God said, you got to cut people off. You got to do the right thing. And this to my brother, if you sit in that cell, or you got social media, you can see this, because I'm not coming to the jailhouse no more. You know, I'm not getting filled on, you know, motherfucker touching on my ass, doing the same thing, looking for, do I have something on me? No, I don't. I changed my life. My grandmother that's deceased now, they was touching on her ass every time she go down there, and people still ungrateful. My mom, my dad, my brothers, aunties, uncles, everybody get filled on. When you go to prison to go see somebody, you might not come home either. I'm not going through that no more for ungrateful people. So all y'all bloggers or whatever, y'all could understand one thing. The ATM, I'm pulling the plug off. Because people that's ungrateful and don't appreciate me, even my own family members, they'll forget. Because you could give people, they hit you. I'm an ATM, I get it. That's what I am. I'm an ATM and now I'm a square because I'm not in the hood. I'm only not in the hood because I did the right thing. And I changed, which everybody else could change. But when you go to the club and you convicted of a crime that somebody else commit because you with the wrong people, and then the people that's with you, you call them the cut boys, that's who taking care of your business while you locked up, they on the streets, and they all turned on you, and you say nothing about it, you never made a record about them, you never wrote a book about them, turning on you. I mean, how is that real? How is that true? Because that's your word, true. They turned on you, bro. You could have been home with your family 18 years ago. I mean, how long Monica been knowing Kim Kardashian? You done did a hunger strike, everything, bro. This could have been done. If it's gonna happen, it's just not that easy. Man, Jimbo did 22 years, and he said, cuz, guess why I came home? Because I used to be mad with you. The same way your brother is, but nobody telling him the truth. You paid for lawyers, you did all this stuff, we get it. But he said, guess what? My cellie told me, you mad at people, what have you done for Pete? Have you ever made him a card for his birthday? Have you ever sent him a Christmas card or made him a belt? Anything. Nobody's never done that. Because people always say, where do you get the man that has everything? What about just love? What about a simple thank you? Matt family called me and said, thank you, Master P, for talking about my son's story in No Limit Chronicles. It made a big difference. Hopefully my son will come home soon. So that's integrity. That's people that have humility. I'm focusing on giving back to underprivileged communities, helping the next generation with education, helping the elderly. That's what I'm doing with my resources. I'm not wasting it on no more on family members that's ungrateful. I know that's why millionaires and billionaires say, you know what, I'm gonna give my money back to charity. I'm not leaving it for ungrateful family members. And I never thought I'd feel that way, but it's the truth. So people don't have to worry about me and what I'm doing or what I work for. When you look at my grandmother that's not here, I had to pay somebody to get you to her funeral, which is crazy, and you forgot. Everything costs money. Other people are spending their money and you're not thinking about, even if somebody say they know the date, but they done told you 100 times, yeah, that's love, bro. These people who you put your trust in, your friends, they only there for the publicity. When the publicity over, nobody's gonna help you or nobody's gonna be there for you but your family, us, the ones that love you. So, bro, wake up. If you get a second chance, man, be thankful. Thank that man up above.
You know, how a lot of people say, man, she murdered innocent, man, he ain't do that. Juan Flowers did it. Right? Juan Flowers, born in the Calliope, moved to the 8th Ward, and then came back when he got a little older, I guess, he started back hanging the yoke. So a lot of people be like, yeah, he out the 8th Ward. But, you know, but he on that Calliope flag. So the Calliope gonna take a hit on this one right now. Now, for those who don't know, Juan Flowers, you know, Katrina, he shot to Atlanta. You know, they out there wilding, doing their thing, got caught up. Now he got a life sentence and whatever in Atlanta prison. He doing his thing in Atlanta prison. You know, running it, doing what he do, getting his money, whatever. Repping that NO. Repping that Calliope flag. Now, Juan Flowers and C Murder is real tight. Juan Flowers was dead at night when all this stuff happened, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. Juan Flowers write a letter. Well, first, Juan Flowers, when C Murder was going to court, Juan Flowers was supposed to testify for C Murder. C Murder lawyer wouldn't put him on the stand. C Murder don't know what's going on because C Murder really not no street dude. So C Murder started hanging with the gangsters later on. But he's from the Calliope project, but now he don't really know what's going on with this stuff. So they don't put Juan Flowers on the stand. Now, Juan Flowers got a Buck Rogers numbers on all that in Atlanta right now, right? So Juan said, you know what? I'm already hit. I'm done. See a big dog. You know, go home, get some money, make sure I'm good. All right, look, write a letter to the people. Look, I did that. The DA say, okay, you did that? Tell you what, we willing to accept your guilty plea, but we want the death penalty. And this is what Juan Flowers said, y'all.
You're the one that killed this victim in this case.
No, I was not.
So why did you lie about doing it?
Derail the trial.
How do I know you're not trying to derail my
Hey, listen,
investigation?
that's when stepping goes wrong. Some people just talk about that death penalty. Why is it time out? Nah, I was just playing. I was just playing. I didn't do that. I just said that just to mess up the trial. So listen, from this piece of evidence right here, them people see there's a lot of games being played, there's a lot of lies going on, and at the end of the day, that don't look good for C. Because now it's back to C did this. Now, even me was riding with, man, C and nah. Was it Wango? He's the C's now. Was it really Wine? He got timing. But Wine then recanted. Wine, them people talking about sticking that stuff in him, Wine say, time out. I do life because I'm still alive. But trying to put me to sleep, nah. We ain't doing that one. Wine said, nah, we ain't doing that there. You ain't about to put me to sleep, Woody. I ain't going out like that. That boy told the people, nah. Man said, well, how am I bleeding now? You say you didn't whoop me. He said, because I was lying. I just want to mess up C trial. I just want to help him out. Now, as far as the victim brother telling about he got paid, I don't know nothing about that. He don't know nothing about that. So I don't know why he bring that up. But as far as the proof, because here's the thing. Whenever the victim's family involved, whatever the perpetrator do, the one who's charged for it, the victim family have a right to know everything was going on. They got a right to be in court. They got a right to be at the sentencing hearing. Your parole, they're going to be involved in everything going on. So they're going to get all this information. So he had the information, and he posted the information on the little video he did, the victim brother. He put that at the end. That's where I got it from. I said, whoa.
Was the one that recanted their statement. And the other one was C. Murder's right-hand man, a bodyguard, Wango.
And he told you that?
Face to face, after he took the plea trial agreement with the courts. And he did this before the second trial. So he was going to be charged himself. He got picked up for a drug case and whatever else he was doing, because he was a known killer in New Orleans on the street. Like, let's be honest. But he was the one who was supposed to solidify C. Murder's street credit or whatever from the rap game. But Wango was a heavy street name. So when this happened, he said C. Murder was the only one to get in the club with the gun because he was the superstar. Everyone else got patted down and couldn't get in the club without getting patted down.
But, and I have to say, but, even if I was the one that's coming in, and I don't know, I wasn't there. This is all speculation and alleged for me.
Okay.
If I'm the superstar, the way I moved, I wouldn't be the one with the pistol for sure. I'm just being real with you. I might get it in for you. Let's be real. But I'm not for people. I got too many people with me. I'm not for to be. I'm worth something. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying I'm worth something. So even if I was to do this, nigga, you got to do this, whatever, because I'm focused.
But according to him, he was high. So what a lot of people may not know, New Orleans know, is that heroin is their drug of choice.
Right.
So he was like, he was getting down and he was loaded. And
so is this C? Not C?
No, this C. This is what Wango
C.
tells me about C.
Okay.
That C was out his mind, and this is what happened that night.
Wow.
And he tells the same story that the other witness who changed the story, and we'll get to him too. But he told the exact same story, and I know those two don't run in the same crowds together because Peanut was a football star.
Okay.
And they wouldn't have ran in there, but he was security that night.
But Peanut recanted his statement.
Right.
So if Peanut recanted his statement, why would he don't have to? Why would he recant it?
Because he was getting blackballed in the industry.
As far as music?
Yeah.
But
you ever heard of him?
I don't know the nigga, but I'm just saying.
My point exactly.
Is he out right now?
Yeah, suppose Shy Nut, you could Google him.
No,
but that's the rap name. But
is he still rapping right now?
I guess. I don't know. He was trying to do something. Last I heard, he was trying to do promotion in Miami or something.
Oh, so.
But when I came home from jail, he was another one. Prior to the recanting, prior to the second trial, word for word, what he said on the stand the first time is what he told me and my family. He would come to our house. He used to cut my hair because he was a barber as well.
So he knew y'all before? He knew your brother and everybody?
No, he had to know my brother. I met him when I came home. I met him. He ran with my cousin BJ. So all of them were like the same age.
So, yeah, your brother age.
Yeah. So when I came home, BJ told me first that, hey, this is what Peanut said. Like I said, prior to any trial. So when I talked to him, and he said the same thing, but he was scared. That's why I said he called the police on 3 different times. All this is black and white. But what he said was he felt threatened because Wango came to the club, took the tape, destroyed the tape, and then threatened all of them and said they better not testify. So when Wango said the same story that he said years later, you can't tell me that
But
was
Wango didn't
collaborated.
testify.
No, Wango documents were sealed because his telling was on a bigger stage. He didn't only tell about the C murder stuff and the destroying the tape. He told the feds that Master P paid him to make the stuff go away.
Okay, well, where is Wango now?
Wango's dead. He got killed in 2018.
How did Wango get killed?
I don't know the story, but supposedly the streets would say that it's related to this stuff. Some would say he was beat. They got like all kind of Superman stories is what I call them. But from what I gather from the DA and the lead sergeant, because we were all told when it was happening as well, that he got shot in the back of the head and then decapitated. So whoever shot him had to know him, because you're not going to drive around with someone that you don't know. And at that distance, so it had to be someone that he knows that shot him in the back of the head.
Wow, this is stuff that like I said, you almost don't want to be synodized in conspiracy theories.
Right, but it's here. The documents were sealed until he got murdered.
Once he got murdered, they unsealed the documents.
Yeah, but
And that's when you started believing. That's because before that, because you were hearing all these different stories, you didn't believe anything. But once it became unsealed, that's when you started believing.
I believed it because even when it was sealed, the family knew, because the DA always got to tell the family.
Okay.
So I believed it when I came home, and Wango said the exact same story that Peanut said.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first trial, and I want to clear this up too, because it's a huge misconception that it was a hung jury in the first trial. It was not. The first trial was a 12-0 conviction, guilty, but it was overseen by the lady Martha Sassoon, who granted him a retrial because she said the witnesses, I guess something the DA was trying to hold back. So when Wango told his story about C murder with the gun and them throwing the gun away, he also said that Master P allegedly gave money to this judge. Now here's where the conspiracy come in, because I was like, I don't know how much this is true and how much of this is street talk, but it was enough to get the feds involved to look at P. Is why P didn't come to the second trial.
But so the same judge that was on the first trial is the same judge on the second trial?
Negative. No, she stepped down. Yeah, she stepped down and she resigned, and then they had a new judge.
Well, let me ask you this: Peanut and Kenneth Jordan both came forward and said that C murder was innocent, right?
Right.
But you saying Peanut? Did you know Kenneth Jordan?
Yeah, I know Peanut personally.
Okay, but did you?
I don't know. I'm sorry, Darnell Jordan. Peanut. Kenneth Jordan, I don't know.
You don't know Kenneth?
No.
You never talked to him?
I never talked to him.
But he was there that night too.
Right.
So them two, except for Peanut, recanted his statement, said one thing, and then did he come forward and say he was innocent first?
No. So Peanut, I guess whatever the show is, the what is it? Reasonable Doubt show or whatever. When I watched the show, because they was like, oh, C murder gonna be on that at night. So I was like everybody, I'm tuned in. Like I said, I'm still a fan of the music. So when I'm watching a show, because Peanut had been cutting my hair and we had formed a relationship at that time, I called his cell phone and I'm like, bro, what the, like everybody else. And
he said he was innocent on there.
On the show.
On the show.
And that's
not what he told you before.
Yeah, or after. I'm about to get to it. So I call him on the phone, and as God is my witness, this man tells me, bro, that's Hollywood. Is a difference between real life and the entertainment world. And I was like, it don't matter. So your entertainment world interfering with my family's peace. So talk to me like man to man.
And what did he say?
And what he tells me is it's not going nowhere. He was trying to, whatever the single was, I think at the time, Marrero or something, that he was getting blackballed in the industry. And this is out his mouth, that he was getting blackballed in the music industry. And Then he went on his IG page, I think since it's been cut, but then he went on a Free C Murder rant because everybody was calling him a snitch. And I was like, I understood after being pissed off for the night. I was like, I understand, like he want to get on, but that's what he want to do.
But if that's the case, you would think that right now he should be up in his music. Correct. If that's the case, but everybody should know who he is. But nobody knows. It's not like that.
Right.
So
that throws an arrow into that. His word going back and forth like that is, no matter what, is really not trustworthy in what the only one that cannot do, right?
And keep in mind now, he testified at both trials, so you can say you got tricked the first time. Let's assume you don't know any better, like the most of the world here when it comes to this stuff. And you were tricked the first time. You're not going to tell me that you got tricked into saying and doing the same thing the second trial. So for him, it was just entertainment and trying to get the snitch name off his back. Me as a grown-ass man, I don't care what you call me. And I got kids now. That's who I'm here to live for. So other than you bringing trouble to my front door, I don't care what the rest of the world think. You know?
So on the second trial, did they recall all the witnesses and everybody physically to the second trial to testify again?
Yeah, and they brought Wango documents in, but Wango didn't physically want to testify because whatever the feds had in their trial, which I found out later was the stuff he said about Master P and a record company being funded by Richard Pina and all of that stuff.
So why wouldn't he come personally and say it?
I don't know. Like the documents were sealed, remember, for the second trial.
Right.
But I guess he was, anytime something happens in the feds and a document seal is usually a high profile case or a high name case. And people say, okay, I don't want to be known as a snitch. But everybody who's been in the feds know that the feds only seal those documents if you play ball. Right.
I was reading something and it was saying that on the second trial, some of the witnesses, they had a recording that they weren't there personally. They had a recording of their voices from the first trial that they weren't actually there on the second trial.
One of the girls, so the girls, and I think I talked about that, she had urinated on herself. She was scared. So she told the detectives that C. Murder did it, but when it came to trial, she said, no, it wasn't him. And that people were trying to make her testify, but she urinated on herself. And when she saw my dad in the hallway, she told my dad she was sorry and she was crying. And my dad understood. He was like, because all of them was getting threatened.
Were you there that
day?
day?
To get relocated.
Oh, the second trial, right?
No, that's
the first.
No,
yeah, that's the stuff I hear from the first trial.
No, I'm talking about the second trial that they weren't there. The second trial.
No, they weren't there. The second trial, I was there the whole time.
Yeah, that the witnesses weren't there.
The only person was there was his family, and Mia X was there.
Right.
And his immediate family.
But I'm like, why weren't the witnesses there the second time?
I don't know. The girl didn't show up. Peanut and Kenneth Jordan was there though. The second trial.
Kenneth said he was innocent again.
No, on the second trial, Kenneth said he was guilty. They both said he was guilty.
On the second trial?
Correct. They didn't change their statement until 2016, 2017. Like I said, when he was trying to break into the music industry.
So the thing is, to come back like that and to keep these changing of stories is crazy.
Yeah, but you know what happened with him? Like I said, I don't know him personally, but I'm going by black and white. So every time something happens, the DA calls us, the family witness protection people call us every time something happens. So Kenneth Jordan's child passed away. I don't know what the circumstances of it, but the child died. When the child died, he called the DA. Because he wasn't going to testify at the first trial. So when his child died, he said he know how that feels to lose a kid, and he wanted to do the right thing by testifying. This is why he came to the second trial.
Juan Flowers came forward and said that he committed this murder, right?
Correct.
Juan Flowers. Then did he recant it, or did he? What happened with that?
So 3 weeks before the second trial, Juan Flowers said he committed the murder.
Juan.
He said he
W-I-N?
committed. Juan.
Juan. Okay, you got that Louisiana accent.
So he said he killed my brother. So the lead DA said Juan Flowers was already serving a life sentence in Georgia. So when he said he did it, the DA said, okay, you already serving a life sentence. You killed a 16-year-old child. We want the death penalty. So we accept your guilty plea, but we want the death penalty. And then not even an hour later, his lawyer called the DA and said he made that story up. And they were like, what about you would be charged with perjury? Say, I already got life. I would take a perjury charge, but I'm not doing the death penalty.
And did he say why he made up, so to say?
He said he was paid to say that he took the charge because he was trying to derail the trial. The same thing he said on the show, except they may have cut out the paid part, but they left the he was trying to mess up the trial or derail the trial. So they did say that part.
Did you at any point, because of all the back and forth, did you ever feel like C. Murder was innocent?
No, when I first heard it, I didn't know. I didn't know if he was innocent or guilty, because me being in jail around the people I was around, I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And me having a older brother and cousins that was in the game, I was taught well. So I'm not gonna bring nothing to you unless I have solid, concrete evidence. So I never made up my mind if he was guilty or innocent. I even told my parents, I was like, well, we really don't know. So even after the first trial when he was found guilty, because I was still in jail, I said, hey, I don't know. When I came home and did my own research, and now I got your own friend Wango saying the same story that Peanut said, and those two don't run together, I was like, no, this is the truth. And then when Juan Flowers come with his stuff, I was like, no, he is guilty.
But Juan Flowers, again, what he say he was paid, or whether there would be some kind of, there's no evidence that he got paid or anything.
No, I don't think he's serving a life sentence, so nobody looked into it. The feds try to look into the other stuff, but I don't think that went nowhere.
You see what I'm saying? Because that would have been a paper trail, or that would have been something. If there's no evidence showing that he was paid, it's hard to, because that would pretty much seal the deal. Something was wrong. Nobody has really ever caught, and I know you're gonna say, well, it moved different in the streets, but there's been no evidence of anybody from the Miller family paying anybody that they could put their finger on, right?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There nobody has said, yeah, these people that's talking, saying this and saying that, have never came forward with evidence saying, here, this is the proof that he paid me this.
Right, but it's hard to refute if these are your friends. Like,
but you see where I'm coming from?
Though?
Like you would think, because so many people in the rap game get mad at everybody. We know that. After 20 years, because that's how long it's been now, right? In 20 years, for me, being a dude that kind of people are flaky, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Something should have been popped up. To me, that's just my thinking. If something should be done popped up, whether it be some kind of way to really say, hey, I know for a fact this here is it. You know what I'm saying? Now I know, but the black and white, I want to get in that paperwork, because I want you to tell me why the paperwork gives you this much confidence.
It's just the same stuff I just told you.
Said, okay, in paperwork.
Yeah, it's just the same stuff in paperwork.
But I got a question.
I got you now.
Because I got a question, because we've interviewed a lot of people from New Orleans, not really about this case or anything like that, but I hear a lot of people from New Orleans say that Louisiana justice system is so corrupt. In so many different cases, how many times people get wrongly convicted, or the prison system is terrible, or just people, they railroad you, all sorts of stuff. And I've even heard of cases where somebody, because you're in a public figure, they will not say railroad you, but they'll use you over anybody else just to make an example, whether for their own political endeavors or not. Do you feel like that could be a possibility?
Well, anything's possible. I'm not naive, and I'm not going to come on here and say, like I said, I wasn't there that night.
Right.
But you can't tell me these are your best friends. These are guys that you cut for, that you say these are your brothers. So if these guys saying you were the trigger man, regardless of anything else, like that does it for me.
Okay. I want to move forward a little bit because of all of the campaign you had to really endure, like all of the Free C Murder campaign, from whether it be from the Miller family, whether it be from Kim Kardashian, Monica. These are high profile people,
right?
And I see on that TMZ segment that Kim Kardashian and you went back and forth. Just kind of break that down to me and explain to me how that even happened.
Because I don't, like, to all of them, I don't think they read the case. They going by, I'm assuming, what he told him. Because if you read this stuff, you're not gonna, like I said, you can defute that if nothing was with a paper trail, that they wasn't paid the money, whatever. But you can't say that these guys, his brothers, are lying. Like, these are his people, his own people, that said he was the trigger man.
So explain to me how you and what did you think when you seen Kim? She came. She's been working hard, desperately trying to get Free C Murder.
I felt like it was a slap in the face to the family. I felt like she jumped on this case. That's where I was going. That it's a high profile case, so you jumped on the case without reading all of the facts, and I know you didn't research these witnesses, or you wouldn't have jumped on the fact that that's the reason they changed their story. Because had you done the research, you would say, hey, I'm not getting in this case. And then my family can't properly mourn because every year, whether it's BET, whether it's something on YouTube, whether it's something else coming forward, it's like it's always, he's innocent, he was railroaded. And for us, we was quiet this whole time. So even when I came home, my mom said, don't talk, don't say nothing. And I stayed quiet, and I was like, you know what, it'll go away. So when the appeals was finished, I said, hey, it'll go away. So then I'm watching No Limit Chronicles, it don't go away. Then I hear the industry talk, and it don't go away. And then I hear her talking about this case again, and I'm like, man. And then reading the comments, oh, and this pisses me off to the 10th degree, to people that say it was about money. My family never got a dime of that money, ever. Bankruptcy was filed, so it was never about money. It was about grieving and finding peace.
Bankruptcy was filed on what?
TRU records, or whoever the hell they.
Oh, you saying because of
yeah. So they never got a dime of that money. I've been taking care of my family, and I say that proudly and happily. So, like, we were good. It was never about that. It's about peace and closure, but we never able to get the peace and closure. So that's the reason I started my YouTube videos. And I said I forgive that brother because that's the only way that I'll be able to talk and do this, because before I couldn't. It would have been all cuss words, all anger. But I understand, because I felt remorseful when I was in jail. So do I believe that he's remorseful? Yes, wholeheartedly I believe you're remorseful. But it's consequences for our actions.
But you say family hasn't been able to mourn. What will it take for you to be able to mourn? Because this is, as you said, it's a high profile case. They're going to continually talk about this for as long as it takes.
Yeah, and it's always open up a wound. So it's like if we got a cut, we put a Band-Aid on it, and then we bang it again, and now it's bleeding again. And then you put another Band-Aid on it, and you bang it, and it's bleeding again. It never properly heals because everywhere you look, this is the case.
I got to ask you a question. When you went to jail, when you cut the guy and you shot the guy, hypothetically, if he had passed away, do you think that you should be locked up for the rest of your life? Or do you feel like you should be able to get out after so long of a time?
So me on the inside would say I would want to be out. But
I'm talking about, for that particular crime, because this is what this is the same thing we're looking at.
I get the hypothetical, but I'm saying it's consequences for our actions. And even with that situation, when I thought that guy was going to pass, I was instantly remorseful, because in my mind I wasn't coming home, and I'm like, I'm gonna be locked up forever. So do I think prison changes people? Because there's no in between. And I've been in Leavenworth, I've been in Forest City. You either gonna come out with your mind correct, which you have to start in there doing, saying I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do ABC, or you're going to get out worse. But it's never no in between with that mindset.
Wow. So you saying no or yes?
Yes. That
he should be able to get out, or a person that does this, if a person dies, should they ever be able to get out of prison?
So I'm gonna say I think they should be able to get out on certain terms, and this is what I'm saying. Okay. If you are truly remorseful, it's I'm sorry, this happened, that happened. But if you can't even acknowledge your wrongdoing, then no, you shouldn't get out.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it comes with a stimulation.
I get where you're going. Right? Mm-hmm. So the Kardashians, when, like I said, if you lost a 16 at the time you was 16 years old, mm-hmm. If with all the people saying C. Murder's innocent, they say that he didn't do this, and a lot of the families, the grandmothers, everybody campaigning because that's their loved one.
Correct.
Like, what do you say to those people?
At first, I tell those people to go do their research. I know some of us as black people don't like to read at all. Some can't. I learned that in prison too. We have a lot of illiterate people. But do the research first and foremost. So go read. I put the case law even on my YouTube. So they can go look at it. They can go read it from beginning to end. If you don't believe it from there, I don't know what else to say. Wango's dead, so no one can talk to him.
Yeah, because a lot of people, again, like she alluded to earlier, about the system, about the black and white, about trusting the black and white. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Trusting a system that has oppressed our people for so long. You know, I get it, you got the black and white. You know what I'm saying? But that black and white that
can
you
be
got,
altered.
Of course. We know how they work.
Right.
So you understand what I'm saying? It's so much more to it. Whether it was, you lost a brother. That's the most impactful thing that, man, I don't even know. You'll never get over that, bro. Just like I lost my mom, my dad. That's
something that you're gonna have for the rest of your life.
That empty spot will never be filled, bro. Never. Not so. And he was 16. That's even worse because he never got to live out his life. You know what I'm saying?